Well, Tony, can you believe it? We are 10,000 miles away doing a Behind the Glass Live in Australia.
It's unbelievable.
What is happening, everybody? I want to give you a round of applause. Welcome. This is the start of an epic adventure for us. We're here for a couple of weeks, doing 4 of these shows, filling our boots with Aussie content and Aussie experiences.
I'm so tired already.
We don't know our own names. We don't know where we are. We arrived 2 days ago. We were sort of really competitive with our jet lag experiences. Both of us on the way here were just bickering as basically who was going to be more or less jet lagged.
Well, we both died.
We both died, yeah. At different times on Thursday afternoon. I can't remember, the Fox Collection, we went to the Fox Collection, I'm sure lots of you know. Unbelievable place.
Amazing.
Tony walked in and said, "Have you got a sofa?" Wanted to lie down the whole time. I then died at an amazing event we went to with the Mark Collective a little bit later in the evening. But anyway, we're alive for now, thanks to coffee. One thing you guys nail is the coffee. Oh my God, thank God.
I honestly think it's the best coffee I've had in the world.
Really?
Well, don't you agree? I mean, you're a bigger coffee man than me.
Yeah, so I don't want to be controversial. I mean, I think it's really good.
Oh, no.
Let's leave it at that. But anyway, I'm so glad it's here because, I've been keeping alive on caffeine. Anyway, just because we're in Australia doesn't mean we're going to do anything different. We are starting
things off.
Thank you.
Kicking things off.
It's kick-off time
Yeah.
with the Rate My Ride section. Now, hopefully those of you at home, if you were watching on YouTube, would have seen the quite insane turnout we had today at the incredible Young Timers Garage, YTG. Actually, let's give them a round of applause.
Come on.
What a venue.
They've done an amazing job.
We've been speaking with Sean and Nico and a whole load of the team for a few months now, and initially we're like, in the UK we tend to do like 150 people. They're like, can't you do more? I was like, can we? They're like, oh, we can go big. And the turnout outside has been insane, but it has meant it's really hard to know which cars are lovely ticket holders and which are just general public. The man with the SF90, he already buggered off, so I was like, oh, all right, mate.
Don't blame him.
Don't care about you anymore. No, but he was very nice. But anyway, so we're just going to get into it and talk about some of the cars in the car park, and then if we've missed your car and you purposefully wanted Tony to talk about it, well, you can be brave and put your hands up. And we always say this, if we pick out your car and you don't want us to talk about it, you've still got to own up to the fact you bought it.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the UK, people are like, no, not me, didn't bring that. And then his mate goes, yeah, it's him. So feel free. And also, I have noticed a few wives and partners in the room. Thank you for coming. Thank you for allowing your husband or boyfriend or brother to attend the event. You're very patient and understanding, and we appreciate it. Anyway, let's kick things off and see what has been included. So, starting things off with, a Mustang. Look, Tony, it looks like...
it's one of them...
Bullet Mustangs.
Yeah.
It's got a big, aggressive front lip that looks like a body kit. Did anyone come in a Bullet Mustang today?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's some randomer. We don't really need to talk about it, though. No, I'm joking. I felt like there were more American cars in Australia than in reality I've seen. In my head, I was like, we're going to see loads of American cars, and we've seen like a handful, but not as many as I remembered seeing. Is that a state thing? Do you feel like in Melbourne there are lots of American cars, or have I just made that up in my head? People are like shaking their heads.
But
like,
there's a lot of muscle type cars.
Yeah, well, because I guess
a lot of big
Fordlands
V8
and
stuff.
Fords were like big V80 kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Anyway, Bullet Mustang. Cool. Moving on now. You freaked out about this.
That is mega, that thing.
So this is not my world. So you say.
Well, it's not really my world either. Right? It's really old. It's is it a Mark 1 Escort Mexico?
This is a green
one.
Everyone saw it. Everyone's nodding.
Everyone saw that.
Again, the guy was too cool to come to our event. I mean, this happens a lot.
I mean, that is a proper car.
That is a proper car, and it looked like it'd been well sorted out. I just don't know. I don't know anything about this.
No,
this
nor
is
do I. I know it's a mega thing.
I feel like I watched a program on Channel 5 once where they kind of restored them, and I was like, oh, I want one of those, and I googled it, and they were like 150 grand.
Yeah.
Like, okay, moving on. Well, anyway, he's not here either, so let's skip past. Now this, we don't know what this is, Tony, but this looks like
an old Mustang.
No, that's not an old Mustang, mate. It's an. Liam, what's the grey car with the bonnet up? A Celica. Like
Broken
an
down.
old 70s Celica or something? Did anyone bring a really old Celica?
Did it break down?
Tony, this is a disaster.
We died.
We've picked all the coolest cars, and those people haven't even come to our event. What did you all turn up in?
They've all come on the plane.
Yeah. We all walked here. It was a V8 98, a T8. We got there eventually.
Z.
It's your accent, Liam. We'll move on. Now, do we want to talk about this?
Not really.
But we should.
No, we should. No, we do.
So this is an Elfin, and this is the Streamliner Elfin. I'm looking for a.
So what one's that one then?
So that's the one we saw on the motorway this morning. It's the one with the.
Oh.
Hands up if you know what an Elfin is.
Oh, right.
More of you should. This is an Australian Caterham, we've been told.
Yeah. I drove one.
I was going to come on to that. Yesterday we had quite the day. The video is coming to YouTube soon. I put Tony in every car that he'd hate. I'd spent a day thinking, what would Tony not enjoy? And I arranged that for him. It was the perfect welcome to Australia. And the peak was probably your Elfin experience, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, this is a car that would kind of appeal to me. It's like an Australian Caterham 620L. It's a big, powerful, like almost open wheel, like proper little driver's car, something you'd hate, had no doors, and literally, about 5 minutes after I put him in it, we were driving down the highway. I was in an LP640, hello. Comes alongside me, and I look out and he's just going,
I was fuming.
couldn't hear a word, but I knew he was swearing.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
But this is the Streamliner, which has got a different front end. It looks like a bit of a sort of West Coast customs job. But I guess we're here in Australia. It's an Australian brand. It's here at YTG. We kind of got to.
Well, I've noticed a lot that you guys really customise your cars here. We're going to talk about it later on in the show, but it's a big thing here.
Modifying cars.
Modifying stuff. I think it's way more prominent here than it is in the UK, for sure.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think it's got, and also there seems to be a pride for Australian cars. Is that still? Yeah. Obviously the Holden Ford thing. I guess we need to get into that maybe in the Q&A.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been to a few places where people have dragged us to cars. What was it on the Thursday night that you got? Some guy with like pride and joy, like had it for 15 years, worked on it, it was super rare. What you call it? What, an old shitty Vauxhall?
No, it's an old Volvo. It looked like an old Volvo from a distance. I said, is that a Volvo? And I think it was like some Holden
It's like
thing.
you'd stabbed him in the heart. The guy hated you so much, and he talked you through all the details. And the more details he talked through, the more I saw Tony dying in his eyes.
He told me that it was $100,000, this car. I mean, I literally nearly had to pick myself up from the floor. Yeah. I mean, I could not believe what he was telling me. I had to ask him again. I went, sorry? I couldn't believe it.
So yeah, we do want to get into that. So whether it's in the Q&A or another time, we want to hear about the Aussie pride. Now, there have been some, going back to the whole modified scene, we saw some crazy modified Porsches outside, right? There's this RWB Targa. Did the RW... Yes!
Yeah! We got one!
We got one! Woohoo! So let's pass the microphone back, please. This is when we're going to find out the microphone's definitely out of battery. Thank you so much. So, you lunatic. Please tell us everything. What is this car? When did you create it? Is it as insane to drive as it looks?
It's brand new. So Nakai is here.
Is he here right now?
In Australia at the moment.
Wow.
He's over in Perth. He was here in Melbourne. It got finished on Saturday. So it's originally based on a 1978 Porsche 911 SC. It's suspension upgrade, so KW Club Sport, bare metal respray, no rust. She is ready to go and ready for fun.
You trying to sell it?
That's
trying to convince the police not to pick me up.
Well, I was going to say, it does draw some attention, doesn't it, that car? What inspired the move?
So I'm probably one of those ones where you go, I've had the car for 10 years. It is my 20 grand Porsche, so it was a pretty cheap and cheerful model at the time. And I guess if you're going to modify anything, then that's the way to go.
Can I ask, this is quite a personal question, can I ask what you spent on it? Please, not a lot, please. How much did it cost you?
Tell the microphone's run out of battery. Yeah.
Less than it's worth.
Less than it's worth. Okay, that's a well. That car's probably worth
enough.
a bit now. Yeah.
Chat about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Your wife don't know what you spent, does she?
And that's a very thick Australian accent you have. Where are you from?
Originally a Leicester lad.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing such a something, and thank you for bringing it when it's so brand new. The first few miles of it, everything you wanted it to be.
Absolutely, more than I could have wanted it to be. Love it.
Well, it's got a ton of attention today. I saw every single person with the camera take photos of that car. So if that's what you wanted to achieve,
Yeah, I think it's worn the paint off.
Yeah, probably. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you're the first owner of a car now, like my ride section.
Cheers.
Moving on, we have this insane. Is it the DC delay? This real old, like a 1940s or 50s cars. Is that anyone's? No. Does no one know what this thing was? Sean, do you know what this thing is? Does anyone, you know the old like Alfa Romeo red? Is somebody shouting out somewhere? I can't hear a thing, but this thing was beautiful. We just had no idea what it was.
No idea.
Clearly no one else in the room does either.
Look like an old Daimler.
It just looked amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on because no one knows what it is, but there was a beautiful red car outside. Now, what about the slant nose roof? This thing was incredible. It actually left a little bit while ago,
Do you like
so
that?
we know it's not. I think it's amazing. I like a slant nose. Hands up if you like a slant nose 911. Yeah, less than I think. Hands up if you hate a slant nose 911. Okay, clearly a lot of people are indifferent to them. But I've always liked the slant nose, because I think it's quite weird. And this is obviously a roof, so a little bit special, a little bit more tweaked. I don't know if it was an original roof or, well, I think it is. It's a roof BTR. It's got it literally on the window screen. So that was pretty cool and pretty special to see. It means nothing to you and you're going to be miserable.
Cool story.
Yeah.
No idea.
You want to talk about the car hiding in the background?
Oh, the Megane.
The Trophy R.
Who's brought that? There he is.
Yeah, at the back, so we can keep passing the microphone back, please. I like that. Was that a start of a ripple of applause? It feels like we should clap everyone who's
we
bought
should.
a car. That can be a new thing. We like that.
You're so nice here, you
You're all very
Australians.
polite to each other.
It's so lovely.
In the UK, everyone boos and hisses. But we have surmised from our very short time in Melbourne that hot hatches might be the way to go in this city and with surrounding roads. And RS products are some of our favourite.
Yeah.
Megane RS, that generation, one of our favourites, and Trophy are the ultimate. So how long have you had the car?
From new in 2020.
Right.
Amazing. And is the ride bearable here?
Yes, it is, because it's fully adjustable. Yeah, it's manually. You have to go on the floor and adjust all the shockers. It's got about 20 clicks.
Do you do that before you go to dinner, or?
I only take it out for
1
Sunday
second,
drives.
darling.
So I put it mid-spec, but if I go on a track day, then I put it up hard, and then if I go for a long drive, then I soften it off a little bit.
Oh, this is
But
proper.
I like to feel it hard suspension, because it gives more of a sporty ride. Do you know what I mean? It makes you feel more alive. It's a nicer feeling.
Sorry, wait. Flip it. So you lay underneath the car, depending on where you're. How long does it take you to adjust the suspension?
It's only 2 minutes. You just got to get your hand. It's very tricky at the front, because especially when the brakes are hot.
So wait, so you could,
a little bit.
so you could adjust your suspension and go to hospital.
Yeah.
Flipping
I
hell.
mean, that's commitment. That is commitment. I mean, good. Oh, something's literally revving the building down. It's a bloody Aventador.
It's always a Lambo. isn't
Always allowed. He went, I don't want to go to the podcast recording. I'm going to sit outside and rev my engine.
it? He has.
What a bogan. What a bogan.
He will have the smallest willy you've ever seen.
Does
I'm gonna go in on him.
It sounds like it's shooting flames, so maybe we should pop out and get that content. Unbelievable. Well, yeah, thank you for bringing the trophy out. We approve of that way more than flaming whatever he's called outside.
Yeah.
The flaming galah outside. Now, this is a car that I wanted to talk about, and if the person who has this is in this room, we are going to become best friends. It's the AMG GTR, I guess, like tribute car to the 6.3 AMG. The one with
Red.
the spotlights? No, he didn't come. Oh, does anyone know him? Yeah? His name's Paul. Have you got his number? It's a GTS. Oh my God, let's get Nico the microphone. Everyone, can we give Nico from YTG a round of applause? This event essentially wouldn't happen without him. The microphone's somewhere at the back. It's making its way to you. So, Paul with the love for AMG. It's a GTS, but he's put the GTR grille on it, right?
No, that's just part of the modifications. So
Oh,
that's
fine.
what it looks like, is that he goes nuts. He forms stuff out of metal and plastic, and he goes nuts. Does it all himself. It's just his little project.
Because he loves AMG?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he work, or has he retired now?
He doesn't have to work.
he doesn't have
He's
to
got a
work.
few quid.
That's
He's
the
like
bet.
me.
I don't have to. You have to work.
I do,
Trust me.
I owe so much money, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, mate. And that's why we're doing this event. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, good on him. And anyone who says they don't have to work and they're just modifying their AMGs. But is it the kind of thing where you don't really want to get stuck at the pub with him because he's then going to start telling you, well, actually in 1968, or is he quite chill about it?
Only if you ask.
Okay, fine. Don't ask, basically. Maybe it was a good thing that he wasn't here. We'd be half an hour in, but like, okay.
It's like asking you about 360s.
Good point, actually. Has everyone seen this Spider here?
Oh,
what
no.
a car. Low mileage, what was it, 2 owners, Sean, with like 24,000 kilometers, manual car, Rosso Fiorano. Oh. I mean,
Where is Sean? It's the quietest I've ever heard
he's
him.
hosting everyone outside,
Oh,
isn't
is
he? He's revving the Aventador,
Yeah,
probably.
probably him, yeah.
Now, we have to talk about some Aussie Aussie muscle. This is, I'm assuming, a Holden HSV. This is the white car.
That's a GTSR, probably a W1.
I know so much about
Is
this
that
car.
good?
Anyone here?
The very last.
The very last, the send-off model, right? So let's get into this now. Is that anyone? Has anyone bought Aussie muscle today? Has anyone bought a Holden? No? No one's bought a Holden today.
I bet someone has. They're just too
There's
embarrassed.
some-
There it is.
No, you didn't bring a Holden. Okay, so who wants to tell us why you haven't bought a Holden? I thought there was this Aussie pride. I thought there was this whole like, we love the whole story and the history, but none of you bought a Holden with you. Is that because they became crap? Or they were always crap? Or, come on, someone brave enough to launch. Otherwise, Nico's going to have to do it, and then you're going to throw eggs at him.
They stopped making good cars.
They stopped making good cars. Are we agreeing with that? Hands up if you think Holden were always a bit crap.
Did they ever
Oh.
make anything
Oh,
good?
they were always a bit crap. Well, Ford, because Ford is the other big option, right? Were Ford always crap? Oh my God, everyone's agreeing. So these cars were crap. So what's going on? so the people that we met who were like, oh my God, they were just weirdos.
So you literally all just buy Toyotas now? Because that's all that's it.
This is so disappointing because when we went to America, we thought we'd be like, yeah, who's bringing the Camaros? And everyone was like, no, they're crap. We're like, what? So long story short, Europeans just make the best cars.
Of course, that's why they sell them all.
Well, especially the Brits. We've been surrounded by British cars today for a bit of,
Well, they're
Patriot.
not. Although they're only made in Britain, they're not really British at all, are they?
No, fair. Well, no, some of these must have been. I mean, that is. The Ferrari definitely isn't, but...
No.
Or other 2 Ferraris. Oh, well, that's a bit disappointing. But I guess maybe predictable, because if they were amazing, well, we would see more of them. They would have been
Well,
sold
the
around
world's
the world.
changed, mate. Things move on, and unfortunately, some of these companies they don't move on quick enough.
Yeah.
So the Germans have nailed it. They're the best at it.
And I think there was a time where, obviously, being in the UK, obviously we're kind of all cousins, aren't we, essentially? Tony's relatives all moved here, or were forced here on a ship many years ago.
Pikeys, Romans.
I think there was like this kind of like intrigue as to like, oh, these big Aussie muscle cars, that's kind of cool, and obviously, looked like cars that we knew, but fundamentally, it turns out they were not that good. So
Yeah.
I guess we can move on, and luckily none of you have them here, so we can just skip on past. Now, very cool. Focus on us, the Larry one. What did Clarkson call this? The Rooney.
Yeah.
The Wayne Rooney
Yeah.
cars. This is the green. Is that a Mark
Is that a
two? Mark II,
Yeah.
the sort of boxy, chubby Focus RS. Is that anyone's here?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
good
Brilliant. Let's do
man.
the round of applause thing again. Yeah. Brilliant.
We've got one.
We like the round of applause thing again. Now, I'm going to ask the question which I'm hoping the answer is no. Is this car modified?
Sorry?
Is the car modified? Is it a stock standard Focus RS or is it running 900 horsepower?
It is modified. I've owned it since brand new.
Oh.
It's done 30,000 kilometres, so it's 12 years old. And you know what really disappoints me today? I didn't bring my Trophy R because I've got a Trophy R as well.
Hey, well, you're still in the mix, though. You're still in the mix. So, wait, it's modified, like, is it silly performance or you just kind of tweaked and tuned it?
Big brakes, suspension, wheels, tune, injectors, as much as you can do without forging the motor. CEA shifter, that's a lovely car.
Flipping hell. How much horsepower is it?
400.
Well, it's not too bad.
That's good,
It's a
yeah.
mild tune.
Well, everything
Yes,
else is
well,
done.
it is. If I built the motor and Cyvec'd it, I could get 900 and blow flames and all
Oh
the rest
my
of it.
God.
That's what I was scared you were gonna
I
say.
do have an A45S as well, though, so I love my hatches.
Oh, you love your hatches.
Yeah,
Well,
I love
and am I right in saying that they're the right kind of cars for here? For these kind of roads and to not get too much attention from the police?
Absolutely, and you can club sprint them too. So we have quite a strong club motorsports scene. So Trophy R has been to the track, the other two haven't.
Okay. Well, look, I'm not going to, because the reason I said, I don't know, I hope the answer would be no, because I just feel like every Focus RS ever has now been modified or tuned, and finding
rare,
a stock one is super rare. And I understand why people tune them, because they are tunable and you can improve on them and make a better car. Because I bet nowadays driving a stock Mark II Focus RS is probably actually a bit underwhelming. So I get it, but
Why is it underwhelming?
do you not think, because time moves on, you're the first person who's going to slag off anything that's older than 2 years old, so why are you asking that
Yeah, but
question?
for a hot hatch, it's like 350 horsepower-ish. All right, it's a little bit laggy and got some torque steer, but it's enough, mate. How much more power do you want
But you
in a
don't
hot
think it would
hatch?
feel a bit soft in comparison to a Trophy R or something like that?
To a Trophy R, yes, but to most other hot hatches, and it is a bit different, you know, compared to all the others. It's I actually love them.
So I would say, because obviously the Focus has similar power out of the factory to the Trophy R. Trophy R is a much more lively, direct type of drive.
It'd be lighter
it's like
as well.
a Swiss Army knife compared to a heavy, doughy thing. So the Focus is a bit like that, but when you tune them with the 5-cylinder, with the torque, that's insane.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing it. As I say, you think you might have bought the wrong car, but you bought the right car. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that, and great to hear about it. Oh, more applause! Yes, this is great.
This is lovely.
This feels like the energy. I just like the clapping. Clapping is great. Now it's another. Oh, what even is this? A Fairmont. What's a Fairmont?
That's the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen. I
The
mean,
one with
what
the
is that,
raised,
mate?
the raised roof, the bonnet scoop? Has anyone got the Fairmont with the bonnet scoop?
That cannot be
I think someone
standard.
does, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not bringing my head up now."
That-
what is even?
Mate, a bonnet scoop was... I mean, that
What's
is
that?
not
Look,
a
he's
thing.
got the dials. The dials. Are those the dials outside the windscreen?
Yeah.
And it's. Oh, I thought it said Randy engines, but it's Dandy engines. Randy engines would be a better name if I'm honest. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about this, which looks like. Oh, I thought it was a Tommy Mackinnon for a second, but it's not. It's an Evo 6, blue Evo 6. Yes, let's get a microphone.
Get him. Get
Come
him
on.
quick.
Yes, applause.
Get him.
Quick. It's coming to you from the right hand side. So did I get the right Evo 6?
Yeah, that's right.
Lovely. And now I get lost with the various models. So what's the very long name for the exact?
It's just a Mitsubishi Evolution 6.
Oh.
Lancer. That's it. You got it right. Yeah.
So, what is that? Is that the 280 or the 300 or...
It's 276. It's barely modified, so it's almost stock.
Very
Oh,
good.
wow.
Yeah.
Stock Evo 6, and that's the way you do it. No, I'm joking. Super cool. How long have you had it?
I bought it in mid 2020, so pretty
A COVID
reasonable
car?
price.
Yeah.
So nothing too insane.
Amazing. I really like that. I said for me, that's the kind of better era of the Evo.
And then they were manual only then, weren't they? You couldn't have an auto in that, could you?
Yeah, the only auto Evos were the 7 GTA and then the 9 GTA
Correct.
as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Super, super nice. Really, really keen to see that. So thank you for bringing that along. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Who bought the monster truck? Anyone know that guy? Is he in the room? Everyone's laughing. Everyone saw it. No, he didn't come.
mean, we heard it.
Yeah, he's about to plow through the window. So, I mean, I don't even know how you drive. This is a Super Duty, or as the Americans call it, Super Duty F-150 or F-250.
I would actually really like to drive that.
I know. So this is the thing. It turned up and everyone was like, "Oh, Tony's going to love this." He genuinely would. Like, it's his dream
Yeah.
to drive one of these monster trucks. When we went to America, every like Bronco. What appeals to you about that?
I mean, it's just cool, isn't it? I mean, it's like, get out of my way, car. I'm going to drive over you. Literally, like, get out of the way.
So you like the idea of just crushing people, don't
Literally.
you? Yeah.
Do you know what would be the funniest thing? I literally just thought when you had your 360, if I had
Don't
one of them
start.
and I could just drive over it.
Don't
like,
start.
get a dummy car and watch you come out the door and I'm going over in a big monster truck.
Okay, we're going to rattle through these because I feel like I want to get people in the room to shout out what they bought, what they had. There's an unbelievable selection of Porsches here.
Amazing.
Thank you to anyone that bought a Porsche because the selection has been next level. There's a GT2 RS. There's a 996 GT3 RS. There's a beautiful dark sea blue Speedster. There's a 911R. I mean, the list goes on. So thank you to the Porsche gang. Before we move on slightly, if you were desperate for Tony to talk about your car or think we might have seen it, put your hand up if you're brave enough. We'll get the microphone to you. If you're like, I don't want to say anything, keep your hand
Come
up.
on, tell me what you got. Put your hands up. Come on.
Anyone brave enough?
No?
No, they're all terrified. Okay, well,
Here he
we're going
is.
to the
Yeah,
front.
come
We've
on.
got- Is there a microphone anywhere near? It's going to take a while to get to. It's going to be a big anticipation now. What could it be? It's going to be
Come on,
It's
Nico.
going to be a Holden. Yeah.
There we go.
Here we go.
It's a Nutto Grey RS5 Audi.
Nardo RS5. I feel like sometimes RS5s get forgotten, get left out of the mix in M3 chat.
Yeah.
How do you find it?
Love it.
You love it?
Yeah, had an M4, and that was a great car, but I couldn't fit a Greyhound in the back of it. Whereas this fits the dog, and
Oh, you genuinely have a greyhound?
Yeah,
I thought that was like an expression. You couldn't fit a greyhound in it, you know? Oh, wow, okay. That's cool, okay. I like the RS5s. Weirdly, my mum had loads of S5s, so I always thought the RS5 was cool. One of my best mates had the Gen
So that's the
1
V6
RS5.
one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, the V6 one. Got the M4 got a bit more character than that car, though, right?
it was more obnoxious.
Yeah.
Made me smile a little bit more, but this one I've got a bit of a mild tune, got a Capristo exhaust, sounds great. Hardly anybody has them. Plenty of RS4s around, but don't see any RS5s.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, cool. Well, thank you for bringing it. That is a cool and a slightly different car, so I'll get you to hold on to that mic for now. Well, look, let's move on from Rate My... oh, God, that's the jet lag. Rate My Ride. Because aside from YTG providing this incredible venue for today's Cars and Coffee and podcast, we have a few amazing other partners for this trip. Firstly, Latham Steel Security Doors. They're actually supporting the entire trip. Absolute heroes. They installed a door at your unit, didn't they?
My new office, yeah. I've got a new
Tony's
office.
upgrading or changing up.
Yeah, changing up.
showroom.
Yeah, so they fitted some new doors and they're amazing, mate. Like,
So they're in the UK, they're in Australia as well.
Yeah.
Essentially, if you're a business like this, so, showroom, garage, dealership, any kind of business really, where you need a bit of security at the front, but also at home, they do indoor, outdoor doors. Essentially, these are like the strongest doors you can. So actually, after this is not a joke, Tony and I are going to go and attack one of their doors with a sledgehammer. So if you'd like to see that, it'll be just outside. Because honestly, they had like Eddie Hall, world's strongest man, try to break down one of their doors. He couldn't do it.
So what chance have we got then?
We are much stronger than him. And we're going to have the support of all of you. Maybe we should all gang up together. Maybe 150 people attacking the door. We could get through it.
All run at it together. See what happens.
But genuinely, if you're in need of any kind of security door, they have a huge selection. So yeah, UK and Australia, they're supporting this trip. They're amazing. We're going to be bashing doors down at each venue we go to. So if you're interested, to say whether it's a private personal garage or a business garage, well worth getting in touch with them here today. Or if you're listening and watching at home, you can go check them out. There'll be a link in the description. We also have to shout out GripAuto. So Dom is at the back, absolute hero. We met back in 2019. We've stayed in touch ever since. He makes the amazing watches we're wearing today. And actually, we've been wearing here in Melbourne for the last few days. There we go. I think watches and cars, I feel like they're kind of well...
They go hand in
right?
hand.
It's cars,
Yeah,
coffee,
yeah.
and watches.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a lot of you wearing nice watches today. So this is like kind of perfect thing where it's like enough of a hint towards automotive, but they're also just awesome products in their own
Yeah.
right. I was wearing the Campione the last few days, which I have to say I really like a lot. This is the Veloce, isn't it? This is the prototype which I'm wearing. It's got a carbon case, which is a bit fancy, I have to say. But these are awesome watches, and what I like the most is affordable. I don't want to say affordable because I don't know what everyone's budgets are, but we're talking, 500-ish Australian dollars up to maybe 1,000 or so. So well worth going to check out. He's got an amazing stand at the back. We're very
That
keen
is
to-
affordable in the watch world, mate, when you think about
Well,
it.
I think so, especially
Yeah.
stuff that appeals to us. So
Yeah.
if you're into your watches, if you're at home, GripAuto, there'll be a link in the description below. But obviously, if you're in the room, go and check out the stand. Firstly, he's a legend, but we've been wearing the last few days, and we don't want to give them back, but we have to apparently.
No, he
which
said
is-
I can keep this one.
No, he definitely didn't.
No, he did.
He's looking like, no, please don't, please
He's
don't.
flapping.
It's a prototype, I need it back. But yeah, watches readily available on the website. So huge thanks to everyone who's been supporting today and for the rest of the trip. But let's talk about some of our initial impressions, because we've been in Australia now for 3 days.
I know.
Your
mate.
first time here ever, my first time back in Melbourne since 2019.
Gone so fast.
Talk me through like your initial expectations and impressions.
I never have any expectations. I like to review as I go.
It's a lie about cars, but in general, yes, fine, go on.
Oh, okay. And then, so we come out the airport, and as we got onto do you call it a freeway here? Yeah? Freeway. Okay. It instantly reminded me of America. The buildings, the roads, the signs, literally America. But when I started to dig a bit deeper and we started to eat and coffee, and it's very English. It's like a mixture of the two, but the culture is very English here, I think.
And the biggest thing which she said to me straight away was, everyone seems so nice.
Well, I mean, when you live in London, I mean, that's not hard to not be nice because no one's nice in London. But yeah, everyone says good morning, everyone says hello, everyone's got a smile on their face.
Tony said, is it because we're famous? I was like,
No,
oh, that's who you are.
say that.
But no, you're right. I think maybe you all just have a great life, and I've always suspected this, but you all just seem very cheery, and maybe it's a fake thing. In LA, it's a fake thing. Like, hey, how are you? What can you do for me? But here, everyone has been super sweet, and I think, whether it's just literally been someone in a coffee shop, it's being like, why are you filming me?
Even the cab drivers,
even
flipping out.
oh my, no, but hold on a sec. They're too nice. Bloody hell. We've had a
Stop
few-
talking.
Yeah, we've had a few times. Tony and I texting me like, how do we shut him up?
Can't get a word in edgeway, just keep talking. It's like a
The
machine.
biggest car people in Melbourne are the bloody Uber drivers. Like, we'll be sitting there and we're just going like, oh mate, look, there's an A35. And so, yeah, I quite like the A35. I'm like, all right, mate, so who are you?
Oh, we made a terrible mistake. We was talking, we're not going to do this anymore when we're Ubering.
Yeah.
We were sat talking about cars, and then the driver gets involved, and we literally couldn't shut him up. So, what do you think about electric cars? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
What about the guy who kept talking about his mate who test drove cars? He talked us through 6 different cars his friend
Yeah.
had test drove. We didn't speak. He just kept going. Like, it was
Just
like a
kept talking.
monologue. Yeah, no, he quite liked the M3, and then, but the one thing which he thought, we were just like, what is happening? But no, in general, everyone's been very nice and very
Yeah.
chatty. Shall we touch on, because this is with the main channel video this weekend for those of you at home, shall we tease what we did yesterday?
Yeah, we should.
We posted it all over Instagram, so we can talk about it a little
It was
bit.
very funny.
The Heroes at YTG arranged for us to go out to Winton Racetrack, which I guess is a couple of hours away. And they hadn't really told us what we'd be driving there, but they turned up in quite an incredible car, manual LP640 Roadster. To most of us, wow. To Tony, worst nightmare.
Literally, I thought I'd landed in hell.
And then we got in, I said, oh, we've got a 2.5 hour drive now to the racetrack, and you were furious. I do think, though, you kind of accepted that car at some point during that drive. You kind of started to...
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't bond with it, but I accepted that I was in it and that I really didn't have a choice. So it was either that or walking, and I'm not walking in the outback in Australia because I wouldn't be here, I'd get eaten.
He's terrified.
Terrified, man.
Terrified. I haven't even told him about the drop bears yet.
I know that joke, mate. I mean, I wasn't born yesterday.
But we were going to Winton to check out these hyper racers, which are to the side of the audience behind us. Now, does anyone know about these things? No. Put your hands up if you've heard of a hyper racer before. Okay, in 12 months' time, you're all going to want to buy one of these. Because I guarantee we are going to see so much content on these things from the likes of Chris Harris and Jethro Bovington and all these people, world-famous journalists. This is the next thing in terms of track toy. Now, I'm going to undersell it. It's a ground effect single-seater for, Nico, help me if I'm going to get this wrong, 100,000 Aussie dollars. You can do a season of racing for under $10,000? Under $5,000. Now, okay.
Incredible.
Tony knows what he's doing on a racetrack, right? We're going to come back to that in a second because it's a laugh. But Tony's like, I don't really know what I'm doing. But arguably the most fun you can have on track that's not like genuinely a Formula 4, Formula 3, heck, I'm going to say it, Formula 1 car. Like, this thing is unbelievable. It's essentially a 4-wheel motorbike. So it's a motorbike engine, sequential gearbox. It weighs under 400 kilos, around 200 horsepower. So it's like a 500 horsepower per ton. But ground effect error, like Formula 1. The faster you go, the more you get sucked into the road. During the briefing, I was like, I'm going to die. We are literally going to kill ourselves. This is ridiculous. They were talking about how someone came out of the pit, ripped it real hard out of the pit lane, ended up in the wall. Like, that's a thing. So really properly engineered from absolute heroes and legends that are kind of Aussie racing royalty. Dean and John, I don't know their surnames. Crook. So John Crook, if you're big into Aussie racing, but you probably know Dean as well. Anyway, these things are amazing. The video is sort of hilarious because it didn't pan out like you might think with us two. Mr. I'm fast in everything, I'll beat you. Let's just say Granny Gravelwood turned up on the track in the Hyper Racer, and everyone was like, I think something's wrong with Tony's car. Why is he going so slow? Proudest moment of my life.
Do you want me to let you into a little secret?
No,
I wasn't going to tell you.
No, here we go.
I'm doing it on purpose.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
you won't. Because everyone that was there can agree you were raging at the end of the session because I was literally 10 seconds faster.
I was terrible.
He was red. He wasn't talking. Wouldn't find anything funny. Lost the plot. So that was amazing.
I didn't gel with it at all.
Didn't gel with it at all.
I didn't gel with it.
So yeah, anyway, all of that's coming to a main channel video, and this is the start of what's going to be an epic few weeks. We've got some awesome stuff lined up. We're going to be doing a road trip in an M3 touring, which we're very excited about. Definitely going to find some sharks that I can feed Tony to. We're going to be checking
there's
out
no
some...
sharks there.
Oh yeah, with the road trip we're doing, Brisbane to Sydney.
Really?
It's where all the sharks are, isn't it? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Byron and Bondi, yeah, perfect. Yeah,
I'm not
big
going
shark. No, you're going to go surfing, mate. That's one of our videos.
No.
Anyway, so we're super excited. But aside from that, we're happy to be here. So what we would love to do is now kind of open up the floor. Because as I say, you're a new audience to us, the new car culture. So we would love to have some of your questions.
Make them juicy.
We want them juicy. We like the juicy ones because if they're really too juicy, we'll just cut them out. We're here right now and we will answer them. So hands up, please. We will wait for the microphones to pass their way back to you. So let's just start right down the front. Where is the mic? Oh, here we go. Perfect. We'll start here and we'll move from there.
How's it going?
Very well.
I would like to defend Australian cars.
Oh, we've got a defender of the Holdens.
Yeah.
You know this podcast finishes
Ford.
soon.
What would you say?
You know this podcast finishes soon. How long you got?
Please start your defence.
Nothing fancy, but I've a Ford.
Can't hear him. Can anyone else? Go on, sorry. Please
I have
do
a
it.
Ford Falcon. It's a 6-cylinder sedan, and they're nothing fancy compared to the other stuff, but they're really reliable. They're built in Geelong, and engines are done in Melbourne, and they're really comfortable for the big roads here, like driving up to Sydney or something. And they're a lot easier to fix as well. We had really bad floods last year where I live, and going to Melbourne, 2 hours, 10 cars broken down on the road, and they're all European cars. So they break very easily.
Yeah.
And now the Australian cars are a lot more affordable and reliable. And
So why is everything European here then?
why they don't make them anymore is
Right. Why don't they make them anymore if they were so good?
Oh, God, you've riled Tony up now. Oh, no. You did walk into this slightly. Yeah.
Someone had to say something, but
No, good on you. And okay, so if we were to experience an Aussie car, if you thought there's one, now you can't be too biased. If you say Ford Falcon, then we know where you're going. But if there was one that you think we would really be enamoured by, what would it be?
Last time you came out here, I knew you drove a ute.
Yes.
So I would say like a HSV Maloo ute.
Okay.
And so it's similar to that GTS sedan you saw, something like that. It's pretty unique.
Fine. That's pretty good and pretty different. Okay.
I'd never go into you.
Yeah, I would love to have it. I enjoyed it last time. I drove it around in the rain because we're in Melbourne, right?
Because I know you guys don't have them over there. It's pretty unique. And
you like a truck? This is just a low-slung truck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for the defence. I think we should give him a round of applause for trying to... Yeah. You all gave up on Australia. He didn't. Thank you so much. Question is next to you.
G'day, gents. Tony, you often pontificate that a new car's better than an old car.
Yeah.
When it comes to things such as performance, aerodynamics, even the sort of user interface, you're probably right. But I question that.
I will be right. But okay.
Yeah, but I would say that the sound of modern cars is pretty lame with all the regs that are coming in.
Yeah.
And the sweet spot was probably 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Fair.
Question for you both: what car has the best cold start in stock format? When you start it up, what makes the best sound that gives you the...
Ever? Like ever?
Ever.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, I'm going to say the really obvious one. A challenge Denali. But I would say any Larry Ferrari, an F12 TDF is pretty mega. So is an Enzo.
Yeah.
All the loud, shouty Ferraris on cold start are pretty amazing. Cause,
most of the Lambos.
Yeah, no, but Lambos, because or at least events or stuff like that, they have that soft start and they have to wait for the exhaust to warm up. So you don't get that kind of cold start.
My Performante was
Fair.
really loud on
The
cold
V10s
start.
are really loud.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
fine.
sure.
I think there are lots that can sound great and
V8 Mercs, some of the V8 Mercs.
yes, yeah, you're right.
Sound mega.
CLK DTM sounds like mad. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's quite a few, but I would say personally probably the V12 Ferraris pre-filters all sounded pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Sound is going, but I guess we're going to find other things to get excited about. So who knows? Question just behind you. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, you might have noticed the driving standard here is pretty average.
That's why we fit in.
People like to merge onto the freeway 30 k's below the limit or accelerate gradually as you pass them to make sure you don't pass them. Just wondered what your initial impressions were of the driving standards and how it compares to the UK.
Did we notice that yesterday on the road?
Well, I mean, I cannot believe as a nation how obedient you are in terms of speed limits. I've never been to a country ever where everyone's been terrified of going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit.
But that's because you are literally sort of beaten to a pulp, right, if you do. Like, honestly, I have a good friend here who will remain unnamed.
Anonymous.
Who got caught on the wrong side of...
the dual carriageway.
I mean, he basically alluded that he was in jail 2 weeks ago. I mean, like,
wow.
I mean, he's really been done over. And so I understand why you're all scared of it. But Tony's right. I mean, Switzerland is just as scary, and they fine you based on your salary. So, you know, if you live in Switzerland, you're already rich.
I can tell you I was in Switzerland a couple of months ago. I got fined driving an M5.
Because you're like, I'm not in Australia anymore. Whoa!
Well, the fines are much lower in Switzerland than Australia.
Yeah,
Australia, the fines are more.
That's what I was going to say. You know, we consider Switzerland strict. It's like a joke compared to what's happening here. So, but I don't necessarily thought, apart from the truckers are terrifying. Firstly, we got abused by one. We parked the LB.
He's fuming.
We've had Tony park the LB640 basically in front of a trucker fuel stop.
I thought it was a truck.
And the guy came over and I thought he was doing that TikTok thing. He went, "You can't park there." So I went, "Ha, ha, ha," and he went, "We'll edit this out." Jack, edit this out. He went. It was terrifying, and then they blast past you. So the truckers
some of them
aren't scared of tickets.
Some of them trucks, them big ones with the big long bonnets and the exhaust that come up over the roof.
That's a good cold start. That's one of the best sounding things. Oh my God.
They are terrifying, when one's coming up behind you in your mirrors, because you can't even move out the way. You're terrified of being done for speeding. They come flying up behind you. And then when they come past you, they're the loudest things ever. Literally, as they come past. I'd love to drive one. What about that?
Tony's favourite one, we were in a tunnel and there's this one that's sitting there the whole time, we could barely talk. And then the guy went for a gear and Tony's like, he's messed that up. Just like we were on track. And you could hear the guy, the revs dropped and everything like that. And he's going to give up. He's going to give up.
He's going to go down again.
You were so proud in that
I
moment.
was proud, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think we've yet seen horrific standards. I think we've seen law-abiding citizens. So we'll watch this space, I guess. Let's see if we're still here next week. Another question. We can make our way across the room here. Man with the martini cap.
There you go.
Yeah.
So obviously 2023 is coming to an end. What do you reckon the best car of 2023 is?
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Oh, you've done us.
What's come out in 2023? Not the Roma Spider. What else have we driven this year, mate? What's come out? What's caught your eye?
GT3 RS maybe? I don't know, something like that.
Was that
Yeah, well, you could
last
say it's
year,
delivered.
delivered this
911
year,
ST.
right? No, thanks. There's been a ton of
There's been a
Porsches
lot
this
of
year.
cars. Yeah, Porsche's gone insane.
Millions this year.
BMW i5.
296 was last year, weren't it?
Yeah. What about what crazy stuff has launched? Any new Ferrari?
Do you care about the crazy stuff?
No.
Really?
God, we're so out of touch. We don't even know the cars that launched this year. What's your favourite car?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'd probably just go new shape GT3. That's a pretty good looking car.
I would actually really struggle. I mean, the fact we can't remember shows that we're spoiled and ridiculous, but it's also our jobs. But also that maybe really new cars aren't that exciting at the moment. I think they all tend to blend into one a little bit.
Anything electric?
Yes, Lotus Electra. Genuinely love it. Everyone thought I was paid to say that, but genuinely thought it was amazing. I think the Ioniq 5N is quite exciting.
You like that newer Bath?
I do really like that new Abarth,
Yeah.
whether you'd call that a 2023 car. I think the catering project looks quite... I think there's a lot of exciting EVs, if I'm honest. We drove the i5, we really like that. So yeah, I would say there's a lot of EVs in there.
M3 Touring, is that this year?
The last year, probably.
Or is it renounced last year? Yeah.
Oh, Spider RS. Spider RS. That's my car. Spider RS. What a vibe. Good question, though. You stumped us there.
Very good.
A couple of seats forward, and then we'll start working backwards.
Hey guys, welcome to Australia.
What's been your most memorable moment working together? It's been like nearly a decade now.
Wow, bloody hell, that's quite a terrifying thought.
That is actually
We
terrifying.
both had more hair back then.
Well, you didn't. But...
Okay, you go first.
The best. So, what would appear to be the worst on camera? The best for me, as I look back, was our Melia trip that we did.
Amazing.
On the trip, it was the worst thing ever. For me, it was like terrible. But when we come back and I look back at it, at what we did and what we achieved, it was mega, wasn't it?
It was mega. That was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience because Tony will never do it again.
Well, I will. It's not.
You had like, what was it, 3 days of the event and probably 5 hours sleep every night. And
At best.
I mean, yeah, that's a test of friendship for sure. In a car that he hated and he wasn't even driving because.
And in the 360.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say "and" in the 360. Like, that's a bad thing. Like, my God, and in the 360. I mean, that's the best part about it.
So Tony knows.
Wasn't for me.
But I would say I enjoyed our trip to Monaco with Paul Wallace.
Yeah.
Because we love mobbing up Paul.
Yeah.
And literally, we did a lads trip in our cars, road trip to Monaco, and literally, Paul spent the whole trip 30 minutes behind us on the road because he drives in cruise control at 30 miles an hour. Got to Monaco, parked up his car, said, "Oh, it doesn't work anymore," and made us drive him everywhere. So we just had to give him lifts everywhere, didn't he?
And his car was broken.
He kept saying, "Oh, my car's broken, just give me a lift. And can we go spotting? Can we go spotting?" And we were like, "No, you loser." But we had a really fun time. We were staying at sort of, student halls-esque Airbnb, and we just had that was a good trip. So
yeah, we did have a good blast.
there've been a few highlights, but Mille Miglia is probably the other one because it's just a mad adventure. So, yeah. We like working together, unfortunately. We start making our way back. Man in the grey jumper. There's been a few jumpers and shorts today, which we've noticed. Is that like an Australian thing? Like that's like a real, or is that a Melbourne thing? Because anything can happen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hi, sir.
Tony, you're a used car dealer. What do you think of prices here in Australia compared to back in the UK?
Disaster.
Yeah.
Well, I cannot believe. I mean, you guys have obviously all got too much money in the first place because how you pay the prices that you pay. I mean, like I said to many people, we are very, very lucky in the UK. When you look at prices around the world, we are cheaper than pretty much everywhere around the world. So we're very lucky. But you obviously pay a premium because of where you are in the world. I mean, you're literally in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's 15 hours to drive to the next county, basically, let alone trying to get a car over from Germany. So I know you pay a premium for that reason, but the taxes on top. I mean, it's a full-on job. We went to the Ferrari dealer in Melbourne. I was walking around looking at some of the prices, and like some of the Ferraris, they had like £80,000 tax or euro, US dollars. So it's £40,000 on top of a price that's already a premium price anyway. So, yeah, it's a joke.
It's insane.
I'd all leave.
Yeah, leave. Just get out.
Just get out.
Yeah,
that's also why I went European because some of the Aussie cars, people were collecting them, and I think I saw like a 96 SS Commodore for 30 grand, and I could get a C55 with 100 kilowatts more, and it was a $180,000 car new for the same price. Like, why would I get an excess?
This is something I've noticed as well with you guys. You always quote kilowatts.
What is that?
How does that equate in brake horsepower? I mean, I don't really understand.
What is a kilowatt? Does anywhere else in the world do kilowatts?
Yeah, at about 50. Yeah.
50 horsepower.
40 to 50%. Yeah. So I've got 400 kilowatts, which is nearly 600 horsepower.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine.
Kilowatts. I mean, I always see it on like press releases, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that?
Yeah,
wow.
Sure. And you know what? Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but this is the information that I've gathered. You obviously pay that tax hike to protect a brand that's no longer made anymore. Is that right?
Yeah. That was
that's a joke.
Luxury car tax to protect Ford and Holden, which don't manufacture here anymore.
They don't.
I mean, that is a
So you shouldn't even pay it anymore.
That
It's a
is
scam.
a full-on scam.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for your question.
Sorry about that.
Hands up. Yeah, just come forward here. Another grey jumper.
Hey guys, so Sam, you've touched on coffee. I know you love your coffee, and you said Melbourne coffee was good. Where else can you find good coffee? What's your favourite?
I was winding everyone up, by the way. South Africa weirdly do good coffee. Cape Town does make good coffee. California's getting better at coffee. New York is, I would say New York is probably, or at least outer surroundings, so Bronx, Brooklyn, is probably getting to a par with Melbourne now. That would be my second top.
Italy?
And London's good. Maybe we've touched on this before. I don't love Italian coffee, because obviously it's just espressos. If you ask for a coffee with milk in it in Italy, you're Satan. And it's never that good. And then the espresso is literally like
rocket fuel.
Tar.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, Melbourne or Australia, London and New York are probably the top three. Spain, France, Italy, Germany, disasters.
Thank you. I
All
expected Italy, but there you go.
Yeah, no, it's a controversial one. Okay, just behind you, someone had their hands up, I think. Yeah, Kat, just wait.
Sam, one more question. Have you had a Melbourne Magic before?
Oh, blimey, that sounds nice. What's that?
What's her name? What's a
Next
Melbourne?
time you go to a cafe, order a Magic.
Are you setting me up for something? I am married. Are you sure? A Melbourne Magic. Bloody hell. Let's not film that. That sounds dirty. There was a cat to your right. Yeah, thank you.
It's no secret that Tony has a preference for newer cars. Do you have it in you, Tony, to say anything nice about that Jag behind you?
The which one? The Jag,
This thing?
2020.
That one.
This one?
That one.
No. Nothing.
That would have been worse than the LP640, isn't it? If they pulled that out, I think you would have said no.
Well, I've never driven one, but from what I see, you put your foot on the accelerator. I think you wait about 10 minutes for the turbos to come in. Then you get a big punch. Then you've got to do it all again.
Yeah.
You've got to change gear.
Quite terrifying when the turbos do kick in, yeah. You're about right. Thank you. Anyone else? Hands up. Just there. That's perfect.
Hey guys, how's the hunt for the Challenge Stradale going, Sam?
Great question.
And what do you think, or how much shit do you think Sam's going to give you when you get one?
How much Tony's going to give me?
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, of course. Actually, well, we'll come back to that in a second. I went to see one at Ferrari Richmond because I was like, well, I might as well go check. $800,000. Yeah. Not in my price budget. It's on. Obviously, since I made that video, I've had about 6,000 emails. My uncle has a Challenge Stradale. It's going to come down to money. So that's my big sticking point. I'm not shmee. So I really don't want to hang around. I don't want to be all YouTube about it and in 3 years' time go, guys, here's the car. So I'm really on it. I'm really on top of it. And fingers crossed, it's going to be a few months, hopefully. So let's wait and see.
You want to find the right one, though, don't you?
Yeah, I want to find the right one.
Yeah.
I've given up on spec because I think it's unrealistic to sit here and go, I only want this spec. I just need to find a car that I can afford. So we're working hard at it. And I think actually you appreciate that car.
Because you're my pal and I know you've always wanted that car, obviously I'm still going to find something to annoy you, but fair play to you, mate. Ever since I've known you, you've always wanted it. It's a dream car of yours, and it is an iconic car. So I will find something because I have to, but I can't find two. It's a mega bit of kit.
Thank you very much.
With or without stripes?
As I say, whichever one I can afford. Unfortunately, that's the thing in the UK. I don't have the option. I don't have the luxury of sitting around going, I want leather interior, I want not a stripe, I want no stereo, I want stereo. It's just finding one that I can afford. Because at the moment I can't. I keep asking Magnitude Finance and they're like, no, the bank said no.
But that's the problem with used cars as well, by the way. In general, you can never find exactly what you want. And some people get really hung up on trying to find the exact car. You never buy a car because there's always something, unless you go and spec one new. And luckily in this world, we are all different. Mm-hmm. So you always have to make some compromises when you buy a used car in general. So you're going to have to do the same.
Yeah. So it will happen at some point, and my pink and red interior Challenge Stradale will be unveiled on the channel. It'll be a big moment. Anyway, thank you for the question. We'll keep going backwards, either one to the side, and then we'll make our way backwards because we haven't got quite back there.
Welcome, guys, to Australia. You're both GT3 owners. What would you replace those cars with? Question to both of you.
We talk about this a lot.
We do talk about this a lot. And obviously we both say similar things where pound for pound, I don't think there's a better car on the market than a GT3. you've got to spend quite a lot more money to get something better. I've had my eye on for quite a while a Black Series. That's what
AMG GT Black Series.
Yeah, AMG GT Black Series. Yeah, that's what I want. It's the only car I really want at the moment. But I've not driven one yet. There's a possibility I'm going to drive one on this trip. I hope I like it, but I also hope I don't like it because I've got no money. It's a lot of money.
I'm saying there's not much that I can think of because my car's, maybe
You only buy shit. So
Yeah.
that's the problem.
But I don't think there's anything which can give me that same experience for circa, let's lie and inflate my price, £250,000. But a very hard car to replace. I would probably take the money, get a lesser Porsche and something else. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd go and get another manual Carrera T or an old shaped car and do something else because I don't think it's a one car. There's not much which can compete with a 992 GT3. And, I've said it quite a few times on the channel and here on the podcast. I thought realistically I'd have that car for like a year or 18 months, really enjoy it, do loads of adventures, and then probably move on. I'm now sitting there being like, how can I keep this car forever?
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, and the obvious thing with the Challenge Stradale is like, well, to sell the GT3, and then you can just go and buy whatever you want. But I genuinely don't want to sell the GT3.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great piece of kit. Thank you. We'll start making our way backwards. Yeah, last few questions probably. So the man with his hand up there, you can all pass the mic, please. Thank you so much.
Hi. Having driven all over the world, it's quite common for people to move countries once they retire. Not hinting that any of you are old, but
Tony.
I mean, I would genuinely move when I retire. I said this to you the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the question was, where would you move? Australia or anywhere else in the world?
So you said when you retire, you would think of.
I wouldn't move to Australia because you're literally arse end of nowhere. I mean, you're 12 hours to get anywhere else, basically. But yeah, I would genuinely. I'd probably move to Europe somewhere.
Do you know where?
I mean, I love Switzerland as a country.
I don't think they'd like you there, though.
That's the problem. Yeah. If we've still got combustion cars, because I am old.
No, I mean
I'm
like a personality vibe.
No, they won't like that for sure, yeah, because I'm a yob. But, I mean, I am quite old, but I've still got 25 years of working yet. So, hopefully we've still got combustion cars then. So, I'd want to take my combustion car to Switzerland. But they're not going to like me, are they? Because they don't like supercars.
No.
So...
Switzerland's a good shout. Yeah. I've always flirted with the idea of moving out of the UK. There's lots of places that I like. I do like it here. I like America a lot, and lots of different parts of America.
You get shot there, though.
Yeah, you do get shot. I'm not... Do people get shot here? We were wondering.
Is there guns here?
No guns. We were walking around like Melbourne late, and I was like, this feels totally safe, but are we about to get jacked?
Is it safe in Australia in general?
Everyone's nodding their
Okay,
heads.
cool. Everyone's nodding. Good.
We were hiding our GripAuto watches, but now we can just show them off.
Because it's amazing. Last year when we'd done an event similar to this in LA and we asked a similar question, everyone went...
Yeah, it's not safe.
Don't go down that road. Don't go
will
down
get
there.
shot.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, so I've always toyed with the idea of moving, but I think, especially now with the baby, we're set firm for at least a few more years.
At least.
Last two questions then. There you go, perfect. 2 hands at the back. Let's do 1 and 2. Thank you, guys.
Welcome back to Australia.
Cheers, mate.
Good to see you back in. Question to both of you, 2 questions. Any more mechanical gremlins on your GT3s, and have you still got any reservations about driving them since they were repaired?
Any more problems, he said?
Any more problems and any more, do we get in my cars and think, it might break down? I don't. I definitely, it's furthest thing from my mind is is something else falling off, apart from when something goes bang. Neither of us have fixed our weird windows, so that's like a common issue apparently, the misaligned windows which smash each other, so the driver or passenger door, the top gets chipped because it sort of gets misaligned from factory. Neither of us got that fixed. I've got a few recalls on mine, I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the fact that we pounded our cars around Red Bull Ring, and they're still chilling. I mean, we're...
Yeah, I mean, mine's not been in yet. Obviously, it's due a service early next year, so it'll just go in then. I won't drive it now. But yeah, I've got the little chip in the window and I've got the weeping shock. If it's still weeping when it goes in, I'll insist that they change it because I know it's probably still okay, but it's weeping, so I want it sorted. So, but apart from that, we did exaggerate the facts that our cars were broken. And
We didn't exaggerate them, because if it was an Aston Martin or a McLaren, we would have made even more of a big deal.
But they wouldn't have done what we done when we went to. I mean, if they're broken and we still did what we did and drove all the way to Austria, I mean, what a car's even better than what we thought.
Yeah, fair, but
You couldn't do that in anything
I don't think
else.
we exaggerated.
Well, we did a little bit.
Yeah.
We said we said no, not clickbait, but we said I had a weeping shock like the suspension had fallen off.
Yeah, fair.
And one more question for you. Any update on the family car?
From my side?
Yes, I know you've got the Jag for long term, and I know you want the Project 8. But honestly, you should just get the M3 Touring. Get it.
Yes, that's what I keep telling him.
It makes so much sense.
So
Get the Project 8.
we're driving the M3 Touring, Brisbane to Sydney next week. So that's going to be super interesting. Look, I'm not considering an M3 Touring. No update. I was like racking my brains, like, because the F-Pace is there till June, I think, unless they rip it back off me. What was I looking at the other day? Oh yeah, new X3, because there's going to be a new one next year apparently. Whispers.
But you, if the M3 Touring was 75 grand and not 90 grand, you'd have one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's probably true, actually.
Yeah.
I think if the M3 Touring, and it will get to 75 grand, then I will, yeah, for sure.
Because genuinely, obviously, I drive one in the UK. It is the best all-round car you can buy, like, full stop. Modern car, I genuinely don't think there's a better car at the moment today as we speak.
So I lived with it for a week in the UK in dad mode and was so pleasantly surprised. I think now doing what's going to be 500 miles in it next week will then be another big test for me. So yeah, fair shout, good friend. Just one more question next year. There we go.
Hey, lads. So touching base on what you were saying before regarding Australia being a land of modified cars. So I don't know if you've noticed, and I guess Sam, both of you will be going to Perth to see the Lee Perth collection. And he's got obviously insane high-end modified cars. And for me, yesterday, looked at a few videos of the SEMA show and noticed that there was, I think it's a Duke's design Ferrari A12 Superfast that looked like basically a competizione. And what's your take on, I guess, this new generation of high-end modified cars? So you've got the competizione, obviously, but you've got Duke Design, who's now doing something that looks exactly like a competizione, and you've got Nico out in Sydney, who's got the Enlager as well. So yeah, what's your take on, I guess, those kind of big builds, I guess, pretty much expensive $1 million modifications?
Well, to give a plug to the YTG podcast, we actually talked about this on one of their recent episodes. Has that gone out, Nico? No, so that'll be coming soon. I think we both agree piles of...
Yep.
Yeah.
Waste the money.
Yeah, because it's not an 812 competizione, is it? Like it might look cool. I think the Novatec Enlager is one of the best sounding cars in the world. I think 812 and the Novatec exhaust, unbelievable. It's not better than a Ferrari. It just sounds good, and the design is definitely worse. I don't know. I love exhausts. I love anything that makes anything sound better, but I don't love the ones that change all the looks because, I mean, Ferrari, whilst you might think that they haven't got the same visuals that they do since Pininfarina, that separation, but I mean, they paid multi-millions of pounds as a design team to come up with something,
incredible.
And then some guy in Germany's going, I can do better. I'm like, I'm not certain you can.
Absolutely not.
But then obviously the RWB is a super cool thing, so I don't want to knock it entirely. But I wouldn't spend the money. That's how I'll answer that question.
Yeah.
Now, just to flip on heads before we wrap up entirely, do any of the females in the room have a question? As in, like, why on earth does my husband listen to you? And you can ask any question. So we can convince your husband to sell all his cars and buy you something nice. Anyone? Come on.
Or do you tell him what to buy?
It's been like a lad's chat for the last hour. I just feel like I want some feminine energy in here. Come on, someone else. Yeah, at the front. We love it. Right. It's going to take a while now. Then we're going to have to bring the microphone all the way forward. Can someone run it? I love this. We're so happy. Thank
Come
you
on,
so
Nico.
much,
Get yourself involved.
No, Nico's on a phone call somewhere. Here we go.
He's over there, look.
Thank you. This is where we're going to wrap things up, so it better be good now. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, yeah. Oh, that microphone's now died. Oh, come on. Okay, anyway.
I just want to thank you both because my husband bought a 360. Thanks to you.
Oh, she's thanking us for the 360 purchase. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for being brave enough to speak up. We appreciate that all. And look, we appreciate all of you. It's been an amazing way to kickstart this Australian adventure. Everything outside has been lunacy. So once again, huge shout out to YTG. We have to thank Latham Steel Security Doors, Australia and UK. Don't forget, we're going to go and smash a door with a sledgehammer in a moment. So please come and watch that. I'm not sure I can pick up a sledgehammer.
Not now, no.
We might have to do it together. So come and check that out. They're going to be spoiling the rest of the trip. And of course, please go and check out Dom's amazing watches as well. But really, give yourselves a round of applause because you've been an amazing audience.